Et salut à tous, c'est Jonawak, on se retrouve pour le live sur la conférence Ubisoft Forward qui commence dès maintenant. On a hâte de voir ce qu'ils vont nous proposer. Forcément il y aura du Assassin's Creed. J'ai entendu parler d'un Far Cry 6. Quelques petites surprises. On va voir ça, on espère tous un Splinter Cell, le retour de la licence, ce serait génial. Et c'est parti, on va regarder ça. Ah, ils vont parler des jeux qu'ils ont en production. Watchdog Légion. Forcément qui était déjà annoncé. Note actuelle gameplay. Tac, ça serait bien qu'ils nous fassent voir un petit gameplay quand même. Ça a l'air d'être bien plus chaotique que les premières versions. Ça peut être pas mal. Et bien plus high-tech avec les drones et tout. Wow. Ouais, ça c'est du drone. Vache. D'ailleurs, parlant de Watchdog, je sais pas si vous le savez, mais si vous vous connectez là pendant la diffusion du show ce soir avec votre compte Ubisoft, et ben Ubi vous offre le jeu Watchdog 2. Pour ceux qui l'ont pas fait, allez-y, hein, connectez-vous à votre compte Uplay, vous allez l'avoir gratos. Voilà, c'est ce qui avait été annoncé. Hein. Il est long le trailer. Hein. Le problème c'est que c'est pas du gameplay, c'est dommage. Est-ce qu'ils vont nous annoncer une date ou pas? Mais ils sont beaux eux.
Welcome to the Resistance. There's a welcome gift for our new members. You could have told me it was a bloody costume party. Try not.
The new key suspect has been identified as David Ford, a 43-year-old London taxi driver. He has no criminal record but is currently believed to be a terrorist.
Ah, t'as plus le choix maintenant, mec.
Clint has been a long-time creative force here at Ubisoft, and now he's bringing this vision to Watchdog's Legion.
So yeah, what we just saw was an amazing short film by the director Alberto Mielgo that was inspired by Watch Dogs Legion and looks at the game and the universe and the characters through his incredible artistic vision and visual style.
The city needs a resistance.
Like the film, Watch Dogs Legion tells the story of ordinary heroes setting aside their differences in order to come together as a collective and to fight for a positive change. You can literally recruit and play anyone who you see in the open world. You profile people that are interesting to you, you help them with their problem, you play their origin mission.
D'accord.
Get some closure and I'll do whatever you want.
Sounds like a DedSec problem. Leave it to us.
And that's how you recruit them into your team. And then they become the heroes of the game and the stars of your story.
And what are you doing in my flat? You with Albion?
Please, think more underground.
You with Albion?
I'm tickled, but think more underground.
What, DedSec? Yeah, right, and I'm Che Guevara. You're done.
And they make the story not only, you know, unique to them, but unique to you as the player and personal to you. Because
Ça va être intéressant ça.
heroes that you've chosen and invested in. What would I say to fans? I guess I'd say, you know, take care of yourselves, stay safe. Welcome to the Resistance.
Our London town. A modern metropolis. Built on history and prosperity. Only took 12,000 years to build it up. And one night to tear it all down.
Boom. Ça fait penser à V pour Vendetta, le film.
Listen up. Get all your units to move in and lock down the city.
With London under attack by a mysterious terrorist, the government turns to a private military company called Albion to keep everyone safe. What could possibly go wrong? Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Nigel Cass, CEO of Albion. He's kindly stepped up to establish order.
Understand this. I will not allow anyone, not even myself, to jeopardize this.
He will stop at nothing to permanently control the city.
London will be the first city in the world to be made truly safe.
Nigel's not the only opportunist who's taken a liking to this fair city. Meet Mary Kelly, head of the most powerful crime syndicate in London.
Be sure and spread the word.
Oh, flipper elle.
Goons are using the dark web to sell everything, from party pills to people.
This microchip is scary, I know, but I've got to keep tracks on my merchandise, don't I?
You made me a slave.
You do not want to ruffle her feathers.
Ah, c'est moche.
With the city out on its arse, it now falls on you to build a resistance and take back London.
All right, everyone. Faces on, guns out.
Any of the brave Londoners you see walking the streets can be recruited into your team. Like him. Her. Or even her.
La grand-mère.
Everyone could become your next secret weapon. In our first mission, we need to get some dirt on Nigel Cass, and that means breaking into Albion headquarters inside the Tower of London. All the hardy souls you see here are people we have recruited from the streets of London. They all have unique abilities, and you're free to tackle this mission with whoever you like.
Dear God, my eyes. Mikey. Zip up, get to work, and let's never talk about this again.
Like everyone in DedSec, Arthur can hack pretty much whatever. But as a construction worker, he has a particular set of tools that make him...
Oui. Ah, j'ai cru qu'il allait se faire renverser.
He can even call his own cargo drone.
Putain, il est énorme le drone.
Perfect for gate crashing, when you're not invited. And who needs a regular old gun when you have a bloody nail gun?
Oh, pistolet à clous, ça va faire mal ça.
Jesus Christ, what is that thing?
Perhaps we could approach this mission differently. If you'd rather keep your distance, we've got you covered. Amy is a drone expert.
What's happening here?
A real tech connoisseur.
Ah, je kiffe sa tenue. Elle est stylée, sérieux.
Spiders, but love this one.
What an adorable creepy crawler.
Here we are. Let's class the place up.
A drone expert does have the unique ability to summon their own drone. This little darling is fast and stealthy.
She aimed, she fired, she hit.
I'm reading incoming drones.
She can also hack enemy drones, turning the tide in her favor. And if you are not into direct confrontation, there are more ways than one to get the job done.
Et on peut faire tous les personnages quand même. Donc on a compris, on pourra incarner plusieurs personnages qui vont chacun avoir une spécificité dans le terme du combat. D'autres plus au corps à corps, d'autres plus discrets, d'autres plus high-tech. J'espère qu'on peut nous faire tous les persos parce qu'on n'a pas fini. Boom.
Criminals running our streets, illegals threatening our families, the police commissioner himself, assassinated by terrorists.
Well, that seems to
Ouais,
be
sympa.
enough evidence. Next up, we're crashing Mary Kelly's organ farming operation and putting a stop to it.
That's good. The buyers expect high quality stuff.
And we need a hard nut for this.
Impairing our frontal lobe again, are we?
Bags, don't disturb me in my natural habitat.
Say hello to Mickey. The man lives for his team.
That put another hair on my chest.
And doesn't mind getting his hands dirty. He does have a slight drinking problem, though. And he's passed out. Ah, well, we'll come back to him. You know what? Let's go with someone a bit more professional. It's almost crass to call him a hitman.
Il y a encore l'étiquette du bordel derrière.
Some might even call him an artist.
On voulu faire un John Wick ou quoi?
Here's the bastard responsible. Done
Ouais.
and dusted.
C'est pompé un peu sur John Wick, hein.
Not everyone in London is a legendary assassin or a super spy, but everyone can be a hero. So get out there, find the best recruits, and build your resistance. It's time to take back London.
Ah, 29 octobre. Ça y est, on a la date. Cool. Il y a quand même un point positif, c'est que ça va être très varié au niveau des personnages, et ça c'est pas mal. Ça va pouvoir changer de gameplay au fur et à mesure. Donc on dit le 29 octobre.
I'm a level artist on Watchdog's Legion at Ubisoft Toronto. Being a level artist, I think, is the coolest job in video games because we do get the freedom to kind of like pick and choose what little details we want to depict, and we get ample opportunities to tell the stories that we want to tell in the spaces that we're assigned to. I have the capacity to hide things and, you know, like small little Easter eggs. in AC Unity, there was a boat somewhere in the world that was covered in cats. And then it happened again in Watch Dogs 2, and there may or may not be something in London that is a boat filled with cats in some capacity.
C'est cool.
I was fortunate enough to go to E3 last year. Some of the people that I was showing our demo to were from London, so no matter where I dropped in the city, they'd go, "Oh my God, this feels like Camden. This feels like Southwark. This feels like Westminster." When people are talking about some detail that I've put into the world and they're excited about it, like that feels so good as somebody who, builds these worlds with care. I love it.
Bon, autre chose. Brawlhalla. Brawlhalla.
Now some news for Brawlhalla fans. In just a few weeks, you'll be able to battle it out with your favorite legends on iOS and Android devices.
2. J'ai testé, c'est pas mal ça. Un petit jeu sympathique. 40 millions de joueurs quand même. Le but c'est un peu à la Smash Bros de faire éjecter tout le monde de l'arène quoi. On va dire que c'est un Smash Bros version Android ou iOS. Ah, crossplay, enfin.
Action fix on the go, or want to dive back into one of the most beloved fantasy franchises in
Assassin.
We've got you covered.
Non. Might and Magic. « 30 millions d'heures de jouer. Plus de 100 millions de batailles. Bon, c'est cool tout ça, mais j'espère qu'ils vont pas nous faire avoir que des jeux mobiles. Hein. J'ai l'impression qu'ils ont tout misé sur Watchdog. Il y aura du Assassin tous les coups. Mais j'espère qu'ils vont faire autre chose quoi. Ça c'est des jeux mobiles qui sont déjà sortis. Donc et puis moi j'attends aussi la date de sortie de Hyperscape. Donc je vais tester à tout prix. J'ai eu la chance de recevoir une clé bêta pour y jouer, sauf que j'ai reçu le 6 et c'est terminé le 7, donc génial quoi. Donc j'ai pas pu trop tester. Boom. Oh.
Hey, take this. Don't make me regret this.
Ça va être bon ça. 1911, tac.
Speaking of being fancy, it's been 5 years since Rainbow Six Siege first launched, and the community has never been stronger.
Ouais, Rainbow,
ouais,
on s'en fout.
Ubisoft Montreal has put together a special video to thank all of the amazing players and developers that have helped Siege become the game it is today.
Ils vont nous sortir quoi, un DLC?
2015, a small team released Rainbow Six Siege. A game built on a strong vision, creativity, competitiveness, and team play.
Pour le joueur, le 1er décembre, c'est un début, mais pour nous aussi. Il faut tout de suite s'engager et dire aux joueurs, ce jeu est installé, tu peux t'y installer aussi, et nous serons là.
That original vision was quickly adopted by our passionate community, propelling it to a whole new level.
This is such a special moment, and being at 1 year anniversary of Rainbow Six now, game being stronger than ever, and more players today than we had in the past, it means the world to us.
But we also had our share of challenges.
Health that touches upon subjects like matchmaking, connectivity, all those aspects are absolutely.
Bon, j'avoue, après, c'est un très très bon jeu. Bon, ça fait 5 ans, on va en sortir un autre là.
Through it all, we're always driven by you, our community, and together, we grow stronger.
There is no sequel plan, and we're here for the next 10 years, so expect more Rainbow Six in your life for quite some time.
Ah d'accord, donc ils n'ont pas prévu de suite, ils comptent le garder pendant une dizaine d'années encore. Hein. Ils ont intérêt de prévoir du contenu. Hein.
Tous les succès, c'est vraiment le résultat de autant de nous que de vous. Ce jeu, il est autant le vôtre qu'il est le nôtre, nous, l'équipe de développement.
Now 60 million players strong, we're just getting started. From the devs that build the game to the community that plays it, thank you.
Ah, le marteau de Sledge. Je crois que c'est ça.
If you haven't tried it yet, dive into our new Operation Steel Wave update available now and take Ace and Malusi out for a spin.
A few days ago, we introduced
Hyperscape.
Now, it's time to venture into the hyperscape.
J'ai pas pu tester du coup.
In a hyperscape. That's not supposed to be there. Well, let me get you all up to speed, okay?
Ça c'est bien fait. Hein.
About 30 years ago, everything that we feared about our future started to come true. We made some good decisions. We made some bad decisions. Actually, we made a lot of bad decisions.
N'importe quoi.
Here we are. 10 billion souls living in the crush of the megacities. But the people at Prisma changed everything. They gave everyone a way out. The hyperscape. In the hyperscape, the biggest draw by far is Crown Rush. This is where anyone can become someone.
Donc ouais, pour ceux qui ne savaient pas, c'est un BR, le jeu. Et bon, Ubisoft avait fait une annonce comme quoi ils annonçaient que ce serait le jeu qui pourrait faire de l'ombre à Fortnite. Donc c'est pas rien quand même.
But strange things have been happening lately. Rumors of people getting hurt. Users disappearing from the real world. A darker secret lies at the heart of Hyperscape. And we have to find it. Some of us are searching for a way up. Some of us for a way out, and for others, a new way altogether. That's what brings us to the edge of the future, to the hyperscape.
Alors, est-ce qu'il y a une date?
I'm JC, Creative Director on Hyperscape.
JC's work on Far Cry Primal and multiple Prince of Persia titles has established him as a top creative here at Ubisoft.
For me, what's exciting is we started building it from scratch.
Oh, tu sens que c'est en français, lui.
Ideas is really cool.
Hello, contender. Welcome to the hyperscape.
The game takes place in 2054. It's in a future where humanity has grown a little darker. One of the companies there, they are launching what's called the hyperscape, which is a virtual world and the internet of the future. It's the place where everything converges. Within the virtual world, there is a battle royale that takes place in the virtual city of Neo Arcadia.
Et il sort quand? C'est ça que je veux savoir.
Then we also introduce a lot of new things. You get the opportunity to do parkour on the rooftops, to go into interior.
J'adore ça, l'accent français.
You get to go to the landmarks where there's more opportunities to get cool items, but also more players, so it's a risk-reward kind of deal. We introduce the notion of hacks, special abilities that you can pick up on the fly to adapt your tactics. With hacks, you can do things like teleport yourself, you can wrap yourself into a ball and bounce around the battlefield. So a lot of abilities that let you have fun, that are toys that you can play with. And finally, it's made as a spectacle, so all the viewers will be able to interact with the game on different levels through the Twitch extension. So every few minutes there's going to be a vote and viewers will be able to decide what effect they want to affect the whole battle. So things like changing the
c'est grave ça.
infinite ammo or stuff like that. So players, while this happens, really have to adapt to all kinds of stuff that is happening.
Oh ça par contre c'est génial. Donc la communauté pourra, les viewers pourront accéder à des votes qui vont permettre de changer le gameplay de la partie. Genre changement de gravité, enfin n'importe quoi quoi. Et ça c'est génial. Et ça quand? Moi je veux la date.
Let's show them what I'm made of. Go time. Watch closely.
Ça va être assez nerveux quand même. Open bêta le 12 juillet. Ah ce soir. Bon, on va le mettre à télécharger. Hein.
Production manager Anna Maria Muska is going to take us behind the scenes of character design.
My name is Anna Maria Muska. I'm the production manager for characters and weapons on Hyperscape. We have paid an exceptional amount of detail to our characters. We switch different outfits, different fashion statements, different tattoos, different materials until we see them as real individuals, as real people. So the second you pick a character, you see them in game, you understand what their motivations are and what drives them and what challenges them. This was the first lineup of characters. This is our default base, but even starting from the hair down, everything has been meticulously thought of. Would this person actually like this type of outfit? Would this person enjoy the type of tattoos that we're putting on them? Will they actually like to be in this body? Each season, we plan to produce new outfits for these characters. So we're hoping some of our players are gonna see the effort and maybe even correlate some of the accessories to what's gonna happen in the game. we're very excited to see it in people's hands.
T'inquiète, bouge pas, je vais l'installer juste après.
As we move into the next generation of gaming, Ubisoft has been working closely with console makers to take advantage of all the extraordinary capabilities these new consoles will offer.
Now we have a special guest to tell us a little more.
Hey everyone.
Ah, Phil Spencer, président de Xbox.
With Watchdog Legion, Ubisoft is supporting
Ah, yes, c'est
so you will get the
le support
absolute
delivery.
best version of the game on any version of Xbox you're playing on. On Series X, you'll get to take advantage of the amazing work the team has done with DirectX ray tracing to create an absolutely immersive version of London like you've never seen before. Ubisoft has a unique ability to create immersive worlds, setting a new bar that continues to drive our industry forward. I'm a huge fan of Assassin's Creed. I love the time I've spent exploring the world in Assassin's Creed Odyssey, and I can't wait for you to see the gameplay from Assassin's Creed Valhalla that's coming up now.
Ah, un gameplay. Ça va être cool.
Alright, we know you've been waiting to hear more about this game since it was announced back in April. And now it's time for a deep dive into the world of Vikings.
My name is
Yes.
Julien Laferrière, and I'm the producer of Assassin's Creed Valhalla. So a couple of weeks ago, we announced Assassin's Creed Valhalla, and the reaction from the fans was just amazing. The time period of Vikings is really, really inspiring. When we did our research, we found that, they were not mindless barbarians. Vikings were actually farmers trying to find new lands for them to settle. And so they had really human motivations. So for us to have this opportunity to tell kind of the real story about Vikings and kind of separate ourselves from the myths and the folklore is really something that drove us to make this game. The team went to Norway and England to take the same roads that the Vikings did, to really experience what it meant to be a Viking at that time.
C'est cool, ils ont pu en profiter.
Norway, which is barren but majestic, and just coming by boat in England and see those rolling green hills full of sheep, full of life, is just this moment that most likely the Vikings felt as well. You need to see this land of opportunity. And this is exactly the feeling we want players to experience in this game. It is a personal adventure, it is the story of Eivor, a Viking chieftain. Eivor is either a male or a female. You decide when you start the game.
Ah, ça c'est bien, on va pouvoir choisir gars ou filles.
Norway to settle in England because you just can't live in Norway anymore. There's too much political pressure, no resources available. Obviously, in England, it's full of Anglo-Saxons and other people, and
C'est
they don't really
magnifique.
want you there. So you will have to fight your way there to kind of build your own settlement and see your clan prosper. Vikings were brutal warriors. And the fact that they were mastering a lot of weapons coming from the medieval times really inspired us to kind of revamp the fight system, to leverage the brutality and the intensity of Viking combat. Vikings were not only fighting face to face, they were masters of stealth and deception when needed. They used basically any sort of tactics they could use to win the battle. So we want to portray the full range of combat that you can imagine coming from the Vikings.
Et blam, la lame secrète.
We are very happy to finally be able to show you the game we've all been working on. So please enjoy this deep dive into Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Allez, fais péter.
In Assassin's Creed Valhalla, you will relive the epic saga of the Viking invasion of England. You play as Eivor, a Viking from Norway, who will lead his or her battle-hardened warriors across the North Sea to the British Isles. Eivor is driven by an ambitious goal to build a thriving North Sea.
On aurait dit Lagartha dans la série Viking. Hop, pardon.
Today we raid, that tomorrow we may build.
England is a dark age tangle of broken kingdoms and warring dynasties, a land of opportunity and riches. As you prowl England's rivers by longship, you may raid locations you spot from the shoreline. Ground your ship and blow your horn to lead your raiding crew into battle. Your crew will assist you in all your raids, fighting enemies, battering down doors, and stealing cargo too heavy for one set of arms. Whatever riches and resources you pillage may be used to develop your settlement, giving you access to useful services, better tools, and new settlers. At the heart of your settlement is the Alliance map. It will serve as a record of the allies you have made, and a guide for future opportunities. The Viking Age was a time of warriors and legends. In Valhalla, you will find the largest variety of enemies ever assembled in an Assassin's Creed game. Every archetype offers a unique challenge. Some will coordinate with their allies for special attacks, while others will use nearby objects to their advantage, including the bodies of fallen warriors. To face these attacks, you must find and exploit your opponent's weaknesses to gain the upper hand. Take the fight to your foes with a host of brutal new combat abilities. Snare them with the Viking harpoon. Pummel them with throwing axes. Incapacitate them with the new stun system to keep them at a distance, or finish them off. Dual wield any two weapons you wish to unleash a deadly combination of attacks. Customize your fighting style as you see fit.
Yep,
and become a legendary Viking warrior. All combinations of weapons are available to dual wield, including two shields.
Ouais, ça a l'air bien bourrin niveau gameplay quand même. Oh, il y a du décapitage.
All situations call for violence. In this new land, a Viking must find a way to adapt. As Eivor is not welcome in England, you may need to outsmart your enemies, avoiding unwanted attention in towns and bustling cities.
Ouais, j'espère que vraiment qu'il y aura un lien avec les assassins et non juste un jeu de viking en mode barbare, parce que ça reste un assassin de base, donc j'espère sincèrement qu'il y aura une histoire liée à ça, quoi. Et pas que en gros coloniser, faire prospérer le clan et tout ça. J'espère vraiment que côté assassin il y aura ce qu'il faut pour l'histoire. Ah oui, c'est un chaud lui.
The more of England's secrets you will reveal.
Lagata.
But as you push deeper into England, the enemy will push back. In a series of climactic moments, Assassin's Creed Valhalla will feature massive assaults in which you will lead Eivor's army into battle against heavily guarded Saxon fortresses.
Today we will reclaim her. Today we fight for your land. And tomorrow we rebuild.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla will transport you to wondrous and haunted lands, inspired by Norse myths and England's pagan roots. It will challenge and surprise, with unforgettable characters, thrilling triumphs, and tragic losses, giving you the chance to live your own Viking saga.
Ouais. Date officielle. On sait que c'est fin d'année, mais 17 novembre. Oh, ça a repoussé. Enfin, repoussé dans le sens où d'habitude tu tournes vers le 31 octobre.
Assassin's Creed Valhalla will release this holiday season on Xbox Series X, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, PS4, PC, and Stadia.
We're close to wrapping up today, but before we go, our CEO, Yves Guillemot, is here to share a few words.
Alors, du coup,
I hope
17
you will
novembre.
have enjoyed what you have seen today, and that you will love playing these games. I am proud of our teams for delivering an ambitious, broad, and creative lineup of games. And we haven't shown you everything yet.
Hop,
In
c'est
fact,
noté.
we have a lot more to come. So you will have another Ubisoft Forward to reveal even more about our upcoming games.
Mais le Assassin me fait vraiment peur. Hein.
Ending this show, we
J'ai
have
vraiment
one
peur que
more
ce soit
thing
que
to
du truc
share.
de viking, qui est excellent en soi, mais rien à voir. Très peu de d'histoire liée à la confrérie des assassins. Ça me fait un peu peur, ça, quand même. Donc à voir, on testera. Ah, du coup, j'ai pas suivi ce qu'il a dit, le monsieur. Ce serait pas le Far Cry, ça? J'ai pas suivi ce qu'il a dit, le monsieur. Ah si, c'est Far Cry 6, ça. Et voilà, Far Cry 6.
It's beautiful, Michael. Perfect, but useless. I have something for you. Give me your hands.
Et le méchant, c'est l'acteur de... Attention.
The grenade is simple.
Breaking Bad.
The shell, which contains the explosive, the fuse, the handle, and of course, the pin.
What do you do?
Putain, il est trop beau le jeu, sérieux. Enfin, la vidéo. Hmm. T'as confiance en ton fils, toi.
I am El Presidente, which means that someday you will be El Presidente. And our people, they do not know how to be happy. They are torn apart by opinions, decision, strangled by their own freedoms. And even if you have love in your heart, even if you want what's best for them, if you only want to save them from themselves, they will hate you, Diego. Everything you say, do, believe, will be wrong.
Il va lui demander de jeter la grenade dans la foule. Le cigare, c'est à la limite que ça s'allume. Ouais, c'est lui.
They will answer you with screams, call you evil, a monster, and give you this. So you tell me, are you evil? Are you a monster? Because our country is like this grenade, except it has two basic parts. Our people and you must clutch them nice and tight, or we all go boom.
Le trailer est vraiment magnifique. Hein.
You understand now? Prove it.
Allez, pète-les, mon gars. Fais-les péter. « 2021, 18 février. »
And with that, we're wrapping up our first Ubisoft Forward. Today, we've seen the next generation of Assassin's Creed, the birth of a resistance in Watchdog's Legion,
Alors, Far Cry 6,
the cyber chaos of Hyperscape, and the epic reveal of Far Cry's newest installment, along with so much more.
Remember, we'll be back later this year with another Ubisoft Forward filled with tons of game news and
ils font une deuxième conférence. D'accord, ça se termine. Oh, c'est tout nul. Donc au final, ils nous ont fait juste voir des trucs qu'on savait déjà, hormis le Far Cry 6, qui est où on n'avait rien vu dessus, quasi. Un petit gameplay de Assassin, quoi. Mais c'est le même que tout à l'heure.
Hey everyone, this is Philippe Bergeron, otherwise known as Fizz. I am the quest director on Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
So Fizz, we're setting up here for what looks like an epic encounter. Tell us exactly what's going on here.
Yeah, so here we're midway through the quest that we're showing for UB Forward. Here we're looking at the assault of Bird Castle. So these are big moments that usually sort of culminate at the end of the story.
Au final, ils ont rien fait voir de nouveau, quoi. Hein. Hormis le Far Cry encore une fois, mais on attendait un peu plus, quoi. C'est Hyperscape, ils en avaient déjà parlé, du moins il y a eu les bêtas, il y a eu pas mal de pubs par rapport à ça. Mais ouais. On parlait de Rainbow. Rainbow, ça fait 5 ans qu'on en parle. Assassin, on en parle depuis février déjà, je crois. Avril. Donc ouais. On m'entendait une petite perle en plus de Far Cry, quoi, quelque chose en plus. Un petit Splinter Cell, je sais pas, notre truc, quoi. Ça aurait été cool.
Basically add a lot of new mechanics to it. So we added like some dual wielding for the player, like a stun system in there.
Allez, mange.
We needed to do this to portray that sort of the brutality that comes with being a Viking in this day and age. So it sort of fits into that the time and the character.
Oh, il est ragné le mec. Et les cartes.
Oswald, he lives.
Oswald lives!
Eivor, is that you? Shut your ass, twig spine.
Here, Eivor has taken her entire army through the assault, and finally, it's revealed that our Elderman, our ally, Oswald, is still alive, and Rued has him captive.
So this is what it comes to, Wolfkist? Two Danes fighting over a filthy Saxon whoreson? If this swine is your prize, come and get him.
So now that we've seen that Oswald is alive, we have Rued within our sights. What's the next step here?
So the next move for Eivor is to finally face off against Rued. She has her allies; they can take care of the rest of the army.
Il fait pas de
Now it's
dégâts
time
au
to go
loup.
one-on-one against Rued in one of our boss battles, actually.
Your battle is not yet won, Oswald.
And it's worth pointing out, actually, that here what we're showing is the player going and facing off against Rued aggressively, but we tend to always have to support a 360-degree approach in these things. So the player could have approached this a little bit more stealthy and gotten at least like a good critical hit on either Rued or his wolf, and so you can play this a little bit more strategically if that's your playstyle.
So we're not only fighting Rued here, but also his pet wolf, right?
Here, one of my preferred strategies is to eliminate the wolf first, just focus fire on him. It takes at least one opponent out of the combat. Now, Rued will have extra abilities that come into play if you do eliminate his wolf, but I think having one opponent less in the battlefield makes for a good strategy.
Il est complexe le gameplay. Hein. Il arrive pas le Oh, comment il l'a éjecté. Sérieux, vive le bug. Eh, finis-le.
Do not drag me down to the sewage you wallow in.
You throw in with these wastrels, these arrogant swine?
Eivor, no! He should be tried before God, a lawful assembly.
Alright, so we've defeated Rued, we freed Oswald. What comes next?
Oswald, in this case, prefers for Rued to be kept alive, and so you basically have to choose, are you going to go against his witches?
Ok, on va pouvoir faire des choix qui vont impacter sur le scénario, forcément.
So we have this choice to make, but before we get into that, I want to rewind a little bit, because we just did this big, grand assault, but Eivor couldn't have done it alone. She clearly had to recruit some folks along the way, get some troops, get some allies. So let's actually rewind and see how we went about first gathering those troops.
Right, so when coming up to an assault, it's a game of numbers. Eivor can go into pretty much any location and be a stealthy Viking, eliminating some of the assets, which ultimately would be a strategy. You can do that, and you'll have some of the ingredients or of the assets there that will have been sabotaged, but you still need an army. So here what we're seeing is Eivor going around the countryside and raising what we call a fyrd, which is the men and the women of the territory who come up and fight in the name of a king. So here Eivor is going around and trying to convince people to fight in the name of Oswald to finally take down the oppressor that is Rued.
Defending East Anglia, defending you. Will you not do the same?
What? Die in defense of a lost cause?
Ouais.
Yeah, so she's really using like the image and like the leadership that Oswald had, what he meant to the people. In his name, she's going to recruit these people.
Pretty words, Dane. But the men of Theovard have their own battles to fight.
So we're told by this Reeve that there are troops, there are allies that he could add to our cause, but first we sort of need to do him a favor, is that right?
Yeah, so obviously these people have been run down by Rued and the impact he's had on the territory, so I think a lot of these people have sort of lost hope. And so you need to show them that there is hope. And so here Eivor is basically helping them take back one of their prized locations by taking a couple men and raiding a nearby township. Basically taking
C'est quoi le virage qu'il a fait là, le bateau là?
there's a reason to continue
Machin, il a fait un drift
and
quoi.
then get them on your side.
Ouais, il n'y a plus trop le côté assassin là, ils y vont vraiment en mode bourrin quoi. C'est plus trop. Enfin, je pense qu'on peut le faire aussi, mais il n'y a plus trop le côté infiltration. Là, à peine arrivé sur la page, le débarquement, ils ont rushé dans le tas là-bas. Bon, après, c'est Vikings, ce qui est normal. Mais. Ouais.
Fizz, we just saw this giant pulse go out. What exactly was that?
So that is actually what we call the Odin sight. The Odin sight is basically our interpretation of the eagle vision from previous games, and we thought it was good to sort of bring that back. It's basically Eivor's intuition. It's how she perceives the world. When player uses that, it'll highlight basically interactive objects, like things that will bring her an advantage. So we'll have arrows, like health consumables that are in there. So it really is like a good way of sort of understanding the world and showing you like things that you can go and touch.
Yeah, I mean, speaking of things we can touch, we just picked up this awesome new weapon.
It's something we wanted to play with on Assassin's Creed Valhalla, where we have fewer weapons in the game, but you can invest in them more, so they become your...
Ouais, voilà, ce qui est intéressant, c'est qu'il y a un grand choix d'armes vraiment différentes, quoi. Une époque médiévale, et ça, c'est cool.
Not only are we looting weapons, but we see something here called the Book of Knowledge. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
They unlock skills for the players. So here you can see the Valkyrie dive that has just been unlocked. We have these spread out throughout the world. So again, to promote exploration and discovery, as you travel through the world and you explore locations, you can find these books that will add abilities that you can go and invest in, put into your loadout, then go into the different locations or the different quests in the game and use those depending on what your playstyle is.
Now we've recaptured this village, we've secured more troops for our assault. Let's jump back now and figure out what we want to do with Ruin.
Ouais. À voir, à voir.
The rightful king of East Anglia has spared your life today, and so it will be.
Compassion is a virtue suited for anyone, Eivor, including you.
Eivor decided to let him live. Ruud is really angry about that. Being a Norse Viking, being put to the death in...
Bon, ça va, on va pas se faire spoiler non plus tout le jeu, là.
He was basically denied access to Valhalla in this situation. Obviously, all of these decisions come into play later on in the game, so we have very difficult decisions for the player to make. We didn't want to have easy decisions.
Yeah, you know, when I was playing, I decided...
Je pense qu'après, on va faire le détail de chaque jeu.
But what exactly is the relationship like between Eivor and Oswald?
So the relationship between Eivor and Oswald is an alliance. It's basically Eivor is surrounded by territories that initially getting into England are hostile towards her, and obviously if you want to set up a new settlement, you want to make sure that your neighbor is friendly. So here in East Anglia, Oswald is the man for the job, where putting him into a position of power would help her sort of secure her territory. So earlier on to the territory, Eivor comes in here, meets Oswald. The problems he had with Rued are sort of put to light, and going through the arc, you basically help him deal with Rued and aligning basically Danes with Saxons in one territory.
Bon bah voilà, donc on va arrêter là pour la convention Ubisoft, car là on a vu les prochains, en fait les gros titres qu'ils voulaient nous montrer avec Watchdog Legion. On avait quoi, du Hyper Escape. Donc du coup, pour faire un bilan, le Watchdog Legion qui sort le 29 octobre 2020, le Assassin's Creed Valhalla qui sort le 17 novembre, il y a le Far Cry 6 qui sort le 18 février 2021. Plus après les jeux Obix of War et Rainbow, mais ça c'est des jeux qui sont déjà sortis. Donc c'est juste qu'ils continuent à les perfectionner. Donc voilà, donc on a hâte de voir. Donc ils ont annoncé qu'ils feraient une deuxième conférence. Donc j'ai hâte de voir la deuxième conférence pour voir ce qu'ils vont rajouter le plus. Parce que là, en grosse nouveauté, il y avait vraiment que le Far Cry 6. Sinon, le reste, on était déjà au courant depuis le mois d'avril. Mais ça nous a permis de voir un peu plus de vidéos dessus. Bah, surtout gameplay de Assassin parce que Watchdog, on a vite fait vu du gameplay, mais c'était assez court quand même, quoi. Donc, hâte de voir la prochaine. De toute façon, nous, on va se retrouver pour la conférence qui y aura aussi de Microsoft, normalement le 24 de mémoire. Et puis, bah, en attendant, je vais télécharger Hyper Escape qui est en bêta ouverte actuellement depuis, bah là, normalement, le 12, depuis aujourd'hui. Pour tous ceux qui sont en live, je rappelle que si vous regardez la conférence en même temps que moi, vous vous connectez sur votre compte Uplay et Ubisoft vous offre le jeu Watchdog 2. Donc n'hésitez pas, c'est gratos, autant en profiter. Voilà, sur ce, je vous souhaite une très très bonne soirée. Vivement la prochaine conférence Ubi, Microsoft et PlayStation, voir les autres si je peux. En attendant, je vous dis à très bientôt et à très vite. Ciao tout le monde.